Turn up the volume for this one. One of the leading scholars in the world of disinformation research says her former employer, Harvard, dismissed her. Why? To curry a favor with Meta. That's Facebook. In a whistleblower disclosure, Joan Donovan alleges Meta's growing influence with the university, including a $500 million pledge from the nonprofit organization started by Mark Zuckerberg himself, led to her exit. Donovan has been an outspoken voice in the world of disinformation, often pointing out how internet companies profit when lies are spread. In a statement, Harvard's Kennedy School denies the claims, saying the document's allegations of unfair treatment and donor interference are false. The university also said it's a long-standing policy that research projects are led by faculty members, which Donovan was not. After the faculty member leading the project left Harvard, they were unable to find a replacement, and the program was ended. The school also said she was not fired. With us for more, Joan Donovan herself, currently a journalism professor at Boston University, as well as one of the world's leading experts for social media disinformation. She wrote the book Meme Wars, the untold story of the online battles upending democracy in America. Joan, I welcome you back. I wish it was on better news. What do you think about Harvard's response, and what else do you want people to know?
Well, I mean, you led with their disclaimer, but they've made no specific assertions about anything that is untrue. And if you do dig into the Whistleblower Aid website, you can read the full disclosure. And most of the things that they're upset about are their own emails to me. I was hired as a staff member. I was a professor, adjunct faculty member at the school. And so what had happened while I was there, I was recruited for 6 months to take a position as a project director. I invented and named my project. I hired all my own employees. The person that they're referring to that left was the faculty director of the center, but he did not oversee me or my project at all. And when he did leave, I was given a retention offer with a raise to stay at Harvard. And every time I tried to leave, I was given a promotion or a raise. So I find it very strange to hear that they had been searching for someone to replace me. All the while, they never had a problem with me bringing in $12 million for research and conducting some of the most, I would say, consequential research on disinformation that we've seen in the last decade.
So given how important that research is, even if this faculty director left school, given how important disinformation is right now, are we supposed to believe Harvard just couldn't find a replacement?
Last night I was invited over to a very prestigious professor's house, and she told me that nobody ever approached her about overseeing my research. And it's a very convenient thing for them to bring up because the faculty rule, and not to get into the minutia of everything, is that the dean can make exceptions. And I actually did have a written waiver from HKS leadership allowing me to run my own project. The fact of the matter is, in October 2021, I had received the entire trove of Frances Haugen, the Facebook whistleblower's documents. And I said during a donor meeting where I was invited by the dean to raise funds for the university, I said that I had these documents in hand and that I believed they were the most important documents in internet history. And wouldn't you know it, a Facebook executive was on that very call.
The Washington Post reports that research into disinformation like yours is under attack, largely by the right. Why is the quest to root out lies becoming a partisan issue? This should be a national trust, a national security issue that we should all care about.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Stephanie, and that's why I was heartened to be invited to the Hill last week to talk with different congressional offices across the spectrum. And so I do think that with me coming out as a whistleblower, we also have other follow-on stories from the Washington Post about times when Meta specifically has tried to pressure journalists into creating a rosier sheen for their research. So I'm hoping that I am simply the tip of the spear here, and that in a bipartisan way, we can start to realize that, yeah, we can go chase the bad actors online till the end of time. But the fact of the matter is, the platforms themselves are designing products that are hurting our democracy. They're hurting teenagers. They're amplifying genocide. And Facebook knows. That's the crux of my problem, essentially, was that I was pointing out that Facebook knew, and that I was going to lead a international research initiative into these over 800 documents from whistleblower Frances Haugen. And just to put a cherry on top of it, I did get the documents completely legally. And Facebook has hasn't made any statement, but Harvard did put up on the fbarchive.org a history that is totally false, that claims that another professor got the drop of the documents. She showed them to me, and I told her that they were important. And they're going to go with this story of this is an anonymous drop, so that their intellectual property isn't threatened, and that the funding for the archive continues without acknowledgement even that I was the source.
Harvard's facing a whole lot of hot water up there in Boston.